Hi Taurus, welcome. Thanks so much for joining me on the Fool's Journey Tarot. You are watching a general love reading for the sign of Taurus for this upcoming week in August. Today is Wednesday the 19th. So Taurus, this is a general love reading, and that means that it can apply to anything, relationships or otherwise. I also want to remind you to be flexible with the energy. You can be represented by any of the characters that shows up in the cards, regardless of gender. This means that you might feel like I'm reading for you, but you could feel like you're cross-watching for somebody that you're dealing with. Parts of the reading may resonate for you, other parts may not, so take what does and leave behind what doesn't. My intention is to reach those that need this message and will benefit from it. So Taurus, we'll get started here after a couple more shuffles. If you want more specific information regarding my readings, my videos, and my channel, check out the description box below. And let's get going. Let's see what we've got in the cards for Taurus for this coming week in August. Here we go. So we're going to start off with the Knight of Pentacles, paired with the Two of Swords in reverse. Nine of Swords in reverse. Queen of Wands in reverse. Page of Pentacles in reverse. The Queen of Swords. Four of Pentacles. And then we have the Tower. So we have a Queen of Wands in reverse and a Queen of Swords on the table. This might be the same person, could be two separate people. I'm not going to determine that just yet. It feels, Taurus, like you're moving on from something, or you've made a decision, and it feels like a decision you had to make. It feels like it was something significant, or it feels like it is something that's significant. It could have been something, or could be something that was difficult for you to decide, or has been challenging for you. It feels like you were turning something down or giving something up, or that's what's in question, whether to hang on to something or whether not to give it up. I think that your gut, I think that your higher self, if you will, if this is your higher self, this Queen of Swords, is telling you it's probably best to let this go, give it up. But I think there's a sense of wanting to hang on to something. Now, this could be in the form of a relationship, a job, an opportunity. It could be just about anything. But I think that it feels like the right thing to do would be to walk away from something or let it go or give it up. But I think there's a temptation to hang on. One way or another, a decision needs to be made so that you can move forward. I feel like this Queen of Wands is probably the person who is working through this energy of making this decision. She's feeling a little bit stubborn. I feel like she wants to make a decision that's right for her, which makes sense. I'm feeling a lack of compromise from this Queen of Wands. Like it has to be a certain way. She has to. I feel like she has very specific guidelines, or she has very specific ideas in her head about how things should go. Kind of like when you make plans and you say, okay, well, first we're going to do this, and at this time we're going to do this. It's like she's made very specific plans, or she's got a very set idea in her head about how things need to go or how things should be. That's what I've got from this Queen of Wands. So I want to remind you, Aries, and I do think this Queen of Swords, at least right now, feels like this could be representing the same person. But I might change my mind when I get more cards up. So let's get some more cards out for Taurus and see what else we get. But I also want to remind you, male or female, you can embody the energy of the Queen cards. It's about the energy, not the gender. So bear that in mind, okay? So let's get some more cards. We have the hanging man in reverse. Sometimes he's called the hanged man, and sometimes he's the hanging man. In this deck, he's the hanging man, which I think sounds weird, the hanging man. I usually call him the hanged man. Nine of Wands in reverse. Two of Pentacles. The Two of Swords again in reverse. The Lovers. The Knight of Wands. Five of Wands. And then we have the Five of Cups. Okay, so again, with this Two of Swords coming out, I really get a strong sense of lack of compromise or unwillingness to see things any other way but the way that this Queen of Wands wants to see things. So in other words, whatever decision is on the table, and I feel like it could pertain to a connection with the Lovers coming out here. Whatever decision is on the table, this Queen of Wands needs it to go her way. She needs it to be right for her. She needs things to feel balanced for her. So she's very unwavering. She is very insistent. She is, it's almost like she's demanding things to be done a certain way, or she needs to have things a certain way before moving forward. It's like she's not willing to put up a fight. It just has to be, in other words, it's not like she's going to go to battle for this. It's like she wants things to fall into her lap. She doesn't want to have to fight for this to move forward. It needs to be specific to her needs, is what I have from these cards. And the Queen of Wands in reverse would be that type of person, very unwavering, very resistant to compromise, somebody who sees things a certain way, unwilling to hear other perspectives or other points of view. This person is adamant about being right and very unwavering in the way she communicates and the way she acts. I think she's been offered other opinions. I don't think this is a decision or an action she's taking that she's kept to herself. It feels like she has other people around her that are providing her opinions or having conversations. But I don't think that she likes what she's hearing. I get the feeling like she's kind of hanging on to what she believes or what she thinks because she doesn't necessarily like what she's hearing from other people. So she might have the opportunity to gain some different perspectives or to have conversations or debates with regard to whatever this is for this Queen of Wands. But I think she's resistant to maybe accepting advice or hearing other people out because she doesn't like what she hears. It doesn't make her happy. So let's get one more shuffle of this third deck and we'll get some more cards out for Taurus and see what else we get. So I want to remind you, male or female, you can embody this Queen's energy. So far, I think that this Queen of Swords could potentially be somebody surrounding this Queen of Wands, somebody who's offering some assistance or talking to this Queen. about this decision. If this is somebody in this Queen of Wands environment, this is somebody who has her head on straight. She's very focused. She's very intelligent. She's a very clear thinker. She knows the difference between right and wrong. She's not going to sugarcoat her opinion. She's going to tell you like it is. She's going to be upfront and honest. And she might feel a little cold. Maybe feel like she's, lacking in the department of emotions. But she's going to give you an honest opinion. She deals with facts. So again, this could be this person's higher self kind of talking to her. This could be somebody in this person's environment. But I do feel that there's some conversation or some thoughts regarding what actions to take. Again, with regard to possibly a connection or multiple connections. And it has to do with maybe giving something up or letting something go or not pursuing something. Seeing things in a different perspective, maybe taking a different path or making some different decisions with regard to a connection. Let's get this next round of cards out. Ooh, let me do one more shuffle, Taurus. I went to cut the cards and they were upside down, so I'm going to give them one more shuffle. Six of Cups in reverse. Page of Wands in reverse. Ace of Swords in reverse. The Hanged Man. See, here's what I'm saying. There's the Hanged Man. Now we had the Hanging Man. Now we have the Hanged Man. Queen of Cups. Page of Swords in reverse. The Hermit. And then we have the Chariot. So we have a Queen of Cups on the table. I feel like this is probably somebody different than this Queen of Wands, but I'm not quite sold on that just yet. I do feel like this Queen of Wands is kind of preventing herself from seeing the bigger picture. She's not clear about this decision that she's making because she's only seeing it from one perspective. And I think she's resistant, again, to hearing other opinions or having conversations about this because she's kind of seeing it one way, her way. And she wants things to be a certain way. She wants things to be right for her. And it does feel like this has to do with the connection. It feels like a connection that possibly could have gone bad with the Six of Cups in reverse. But I think this is something that's a connection that's significant to this Queen of Wands. I think she's making a decision with regard to this connection. It could be, I feel like she is maybe ready to release this or let this go, or she doesn't want to fight for this anymore, but there is something gone awry within a connection. I think there's a need to move forward, but I don't think that this Queen of Wands is willing to fight for this. I think that it would require some work on her part, and I don't think she's willing to do that. I think she understands that there's a problem and that things need to move forward in some way. There needs to be some action taken. And I think it has to do with this Queen of Cups. I think that this is somebody different. So the Queen of Cups is somebody who's a very compassionate and loving individual. This is somebody who's very intuitive. Somebody who has a lot to offer when it comes to an emotional connection. This does not have to be an intimate partner. This can be friendship, family, colleague, co-worker, business. It could be any kind of connection, but it's a significant connection with the Six of Cups out here. And I think that this person, this Queen of Cups, is the person that this Queen of Wands is making a decision about. It feels like she might be letting this relationship go. I think if she moves forward with the decisions that she's making, she's going to ultimately regret her decisions. I think things are moving forward. It feels like some decisions have already been made to a certain extent, because with the Knight of Pentacles out here, there's this understanding that things are moving forward. It's not something that you can put the brakes on and say, hold on, I haven't made my decision yet. I need more time. It's not about that. This is about things moving forward regardless of your perception of time, or whether or not you feel like you haven't, I haven't made my decision, or I don't know how I want this to go yet. It's happening anyway. It's happening regardless. And the energy that this Queen of Wands is sitting in right now is uncompromising. Uncompromising? Uncompromising. That's a word, right? She wants, again, I feel like she's set in her head, but she's not really clear. She doesn't have a really broad understanding of the bigger picture here. And I can't quite pick up yet, Taurus, what it is that she's not seeing. It could be this person's perspective. I don't feel like there's been communication with this Queen of Cups. Or there could be a reluctance to communicate with this person, but I think that could be what it is. Maybe she is reluctant to communicate with this person, and so she's not seeing the bigger picture because she doesn't have this person's perspective. Let's see what else we get for Taurus. Ace of Wands, Knight of Swords, Six of Wands in reverse, there's the Hanged Man again in reverse again, World in reverse, King of Wands in reverse, the Tower in reverse this time, and then the Five of Wands in reverse this time. So I feel like this Queen of Wands has made some kind of decision. And I think the people that surround her realize she's made a decision, but I think also that there's this perception that she's making a big mistake, that she's not clear. Again, she's not seeing the bigger picture. She's not seeing the other points of view. I'm not sure if it's a decision regarding this Queen of Cups, or if this Queen of Cups could be somebody that she's talking to, or it could be that this connection with this Queen of Cups is the one in question. And then we have this King of Wands on the table. So the King of Wands in reverse is somebody who is in a position of power, or he has influence over others in some way. This could be a patriarch, could be a boss, could be a CEO, or somebody who manages other people within an organization. But this person in reverse could potentially be somebody who's given up his power, or he's not capable, or he doesn't feel like he can take on the responsibilities within the position that he holds. It could be that he is a puppet of sorts, where he allows other people to make decisions for him. This could be somebody who's dealing with anger issues, or he gets overly emotional about situations and doesn't handle situations well when he has responsibility. There's something about this person the actions of this person, or the inactions of this person, that's affecting the situation. I think this Queen of Swords is talking about it. I think there's some kind of misperception about this King of Wands intentions, or maybe why he's acting the way he is. It feels like this is definitely a group dynamic involved with this Queen of Wands and her decision-making process. Whatever she's doing, or whatever action she's taking or decision she's making, affects other people. And it feels like she's about to make the wrong decision, if I'm being honest. I can't quite put my finger on what it is. Again, I get the sense that there's this need to give something up, or move in a different direction, or let something go. But there's something about this Queen of Wands where she's not willing to listen to other perspectives or hear other people out, and she's making a mistake. She's getting ready to make a big mistake, or she's made a mistake. I'm going to get this last round of cards out, Taurus, and see what else we can get for you. I apologize for the bird squawking. My son's alarm just went off, and she hears it, so she has to make noise anytime there's something out of the ordinary. She's got to squawk. That's Carmilla. For those of you who are familiar with my channel, she's not participating in your reading today. Let's get this last round out for Taurus. There's the Page of Pentacles again. Three of Cups. Ten of Cups in reverse. The Hierophant in reverse. The High Priestess. The Magician. Temperance. And then we have the Knight of Wands again. So this Queen of Wands is making some kind of decision related to a connection. that is affecting other connections within her life, and I don't think she realizes it. She's whatever decision she's making, she's following her own path. She's doing her own thing. I've said this since the beginning. There's the sense of she's in her lane, and she's not going to switch out. It doesn't matter how many opinions or points of view she hears. She is staying in her lane, and she's not thinking through things fully. I feel like she's hanging on to this lack of clarity, and it's because she doesn't want to see another perspective. There's something, she's resisting something. She's resisting seeing something another way. And she ultimately is making a decision regarding one connection that's affecting other connections within her life. I think she's got people around her who are trying to influence her, trying to help her see different perspectives, but she's not very open to it, and it's causing some grief. And ultimately, there is going to come a point in time, because it feels like things are moving forward regardless. It feels like things are moving forward regardless of maybe some inactions or some maybe things that haven't happened yet. It feels like things are still moving forward regardless of people's timetables, for example. So when I said this before, life goes on regardless of whether we're ready for it or not, right? There's some things you just can't stop from happening. Life keeps moving regardless of whether you're ready for it or not. And I feel like that's what's happening right now. There's some things that need to be done or realized or said, or actions that need to be taken, and this Queen of Wands is not seeing things for what they really are, and ultimately things are moving forward anyway, and as a result of her not seeing things for what they are, there's a Tower moment lingering in the set of outcome cards. And which way is it going to go? Well, ultimately it's going to depend on what this Queen of Wands does, what her decisions are, and how she sees things. It's going to affect her. It's going to affect her life, and it could be positive, it could be disastrous. It's going to depend on whether or not she makes the right decisions in time. So let's get one card for Taurus to wrap this reading up. See if we can't get some advice for you, Taurus, or maybe some more clarity regarding the situation. Again, I get this strong sense that if this Queen of Wands were open to really listening, because I think that she's getting a lot of input, but I'm not sure that she's hearing it or willing to hear it for what it is. I don't think that people within the situation are directly telling her, here's what you need to do, step 1, step 2, step 3. Because this Queen of Wands, I feel like, is a mature individual, an adult, someone who's capable of making her own decisions, living life the way she wants to live it, have her opinions, have her perspective. But I think that she's getting ready to make a mistake, and she's not seeing the bigger picture. So I'm going to take this card. We have the Eight of Swords. This card has come out quite a bit in the past few weeks. So the Eight of Swords did not come out in your reading, Eight of Air. The Eight of Swords in the upright position, typically in the Rider-Waite, traditional Rider-Waite tarot, means feeling trapped, mostly in your mind, feeling like you can't get out of a situation or feeling stuck. This card does have a little bit of a different meaning. And I'm going to read that out of the book for you, and then we're going to wrap this up. So the Eight of Air in the upright position, and it's a long one, about 2.5 pages. Okay, Taurus, so I'm going to display this for you, and then we'll read this, and then we'll wrap it up. Here we go. We are creatures driven by our egos. Our ego is in part our identity, the center of our consciousness. It is driven by our instincts and base desires and constrained by culture and society. It can have us feeling confident and certain, or it can have us feeling uncertain and afraid. It can also employ one of several defense mechanisms to shield us from uncomfortable truths or a reality that we are not willing or ready to accept. So many of us are afraid of the truth. We can be so afraid of the truth that our ego will work hand in hand with our primal instincts and do what it can to protect us. If our ego is wounded, or we have been taught to fear, the defense mechanisms employed may also be detrimental to good health, well-being, and to our relationships with others. Our need to feel safe, to feel good, to be right, to be better, to be needed, and to be loved can result in evidence at hand, reality being distorted and shaped to fit our perception of events so that what we want to believe is in conflict with fact. This makes perfect sense with this reading. Cognition is the process of acquiring knowledge and understanding thought through experience and the senses. Cognitive dissonance is a conflict that arises when an individual attempts to hold on to two conflicting beliefs or thought processes at the same time. That conflict can give rise to mental, emotional, and physical discomfort, especially when our actions and our reasons for behaving in a particular manner war with our natural sense of right and wrong and the moral code we are taught by those around us. Practicing a behavior that does harm, smoking or overeating, for example, can give rise to cognitive dissonance. The desire to continue doing something that everybody knows and cannot deny is harmful is rejected by a belief that it benefits the individual more than it harms them. Their parents or grandparents may have smoked for decades with no apparent ill effects, or the individual may come from a long line of overweight people who all lived long and happy lives. The act of smoking helps one to keep their weight under control, while the act of eating makes the other feel sated and peaceful. There is an emotional or psychological hook, and so they continue even though their choice to do so could result in their chronic ill health, even death. What they have is an addiction, and what their mind attempts to do is to make them feel good about the fact that they refuse to give up their addiction. They know and understand the potential consequences of their choice to continue, but refuse to consider them or choose to ignore them, responding in a defensive manner when those consequences are raised. I apologize for the noise. Now, see, I have this microphone, and when I wasn't using the microphone, if she were squawking in the bedroom, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but this microphone picks up the noise from the bedroom, so I apologize. Anyway, back to the book. However, the conflict that arises can be dispelled by doing one of several things. Accept reality and then make changes in one's life in accordance to that truth, or by the continued use of self-justification and other defense mechanisms in order to make ourselves feel better, continue to do something or believe something that is doing us or others harm. The self-justification and rationalization increases our self-esteem and allows us to see our thoughts and actions in a favorable light. Nobody likes to think poorly of themselves, and so our ego acts to protect us by creating reasons and excuses to justify our actions. This is natural and normal behavior. We all do it at some time or another. But while we can embrace a natural and normal state of denial, we are unlikely to escape the consequences of our actions. We can deny and suppress, we can rationalize, and we can justify. But every action gives rise to a consequence, and those consequences can be both favorable or not. If you do something that you consciously or unconsciously know to have a potentially harmful consequence, and you choose to ignore it or believe that it won't manifest, then the aid of air comes to caution you to think again. There is a price to be paid for all that you do, no matter your reason or intentions, and you alone are responsible for the consequences born of your actions. In everything you do, cause and effect will play out. It is inevitable, and the consequences unavoidable. The Eight of Air is a very challenging card because it symbolizes the need to look at your beliefs and behavior and question them. Are you hiding from an uncomfortable reality? Is it time to take responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and the consequences they give rise to, and to see them for what they really are? It is a time to be humble and accept that you might have projected your feelings about yourself onto another. Have you made a mistake or chosen a path or belief that have not served you well, and instead of accepting this painful truth, allowed your ego to weave a reality that allows you to pretend? It is time to face the facts. Don't worry about losing face by admitting to your humanity. Contrary to the belief that others will think less of you, in most situations a simple apology and admitting that you made a mistake or have been protecting yourself from a harsh truth will earn people's respect. Therefore, accept that maybe you don't know as much as you think you do, and that you might be hiding behind a false reality created by ego that serves only to make you feel good. But do not blame yourself or allow a wounded ego to make you think poorly of yourself. We all make mistakes. We all at one time or another try to deny, rationalize, and justify our actions and behavior. Every single one of us. It is an inherently human trait. Our egos will instinctively work to protect us, but sometimes we have to accept that our egos don't always have to do the healthy, right, or honorable thing. Take this opportunity to take charge of your life, embrace your personal power by learning from your mistakes so that you grow in wisdom and awareness. Be humble and accept the truth that your ego is not always honest and you are not always right. Your ego might have your best interest at heart, but it will offer self-justification in order to make you feel good about your behavior, in order to protect you from the harsher truth that your actions may have been misguided or harmful. The path to enlightenment is made up of our mistakes and the lessons learned from them along the way. Wisdom is earned, not bestowed. So, perfect card for this reading. I do feel ultimately, in a nutshell, as complicated as this reading feels, because I think there's a lot going on here, this person is just not seeing clearly what's going on here. And I think this person is choosing the wrong path right now, and choosing not to compromise, and choosing not to hear others and accept maybe help and other points of view. And it ultimately will result in something harsh in nature that's going to cause some significant grief for this person if this person doesn't change their path. Now, Taurus, I want to remind you, you could be this Queen of Wands, or you could be somebody surrounding this person, this Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, King of Wands. There's quite a few people on the table. But this Queen of Wands energy is the most strong energy in the bunch, and this reading is about her and her decision. So if you're somebody who's on the outside looking in with regard to this person and the decisions this person is making, and you can see things for what they are, this person at this point in time is kind of blind to seeing things for what they are, because this person's ego is protecting them and not allowing them to see the truth. And it feels like there are some significant people in this person's surrounding this person who are trying to help them. If you're this Queen of Swords, for example, I feel like your approach is probably the best approach. Forthright, honest, upfront, but maybe add, a little bit of emotion to the mix. It's hard to tell from the set of cards what decision ultimately will be made by this Queen of Wands, but I feel things are moving forward regardless. You can't stop time. I think this person still has time to make some significant changes that could ultimately change the outcome for the better if this person sees the error in their ways and changes some of the decisions that they're making. So I'm going to leave that here, Taurus. I hope that this reading was helpful. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to. I really appreciate you watching. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Taurus.